What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk to you about Lucid. Market closed roughly 15 minutes ago. I want to give you an overview of what happened, what shorts did today, and the latest and updates. So I want to go over all that. But first, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So Lucid went down with the broader market today, 1.38%, 213 the low, 220 the high. You did see a little bit more of a bump up in the volume. So 118.7 million shares being traded, but it wasn't just Lucid. It was pretty much across the board. Majority of the volume today was linked to algorithmic trading, because even looking at the secondary market and dark pool, as I've brought up in last couple of videos, you're not really seeing that much like buy the dip type of scenarios. So today you did see 8 buys and roughly, was it 9 sells? So somewhat evenly divided. So big money, I think, again, not just Lucid, don't get me wrong, it's just big money is waiting for the next big thing. This morning, Trump really did wake up on the wrong side of the bed. He was completely complaining about everyone, about kind of defense spending from Spain, the whole Middle East type of scenario. Have them complaining about Powell. He really did wake up in a very pissy mood. So the market kind of took that already as a negative. And then as well, during the trading day, Trump's favorite person, Powell, did mention that based on the tariffs, all forecasters are expecting a significant increase in inflation. So they're kind of giving, like, Powell's doing it more the sophisticated way, jabs to Trump, and then Trump just outright calling him an idiot. So it's a very interesting scenario. Market does not like this uncertainty. Plus Powell, who of course has the power to cut rates, did signal that we might be entering into a stagflation type of scenario. And for those of you not really familiar with that, one way to get out of that is to raise rates. So it is definitely something that the market did not want to hear. So that's what caused some volatility today. Aside from that, not really much in data points or anything. Tomorrow we do have GDP first thing, so that should be a fun old time. But specific to Lucid, there's been absolutely nothing. It's been crickets, which kind of makes for a trader's standpoint such as mine rather difficult, because there's nothing really to kind of talk on, and there hasn't even been any speculative things coming out about Lucid. It seems as though that people stopped talking about partnerships. I think even just the most bullish individuals right now are just like, hey Lucid, show me what the hell you are doing. Like, Lucid's technology is amazing. Where's all these partnerships? I think we're just at the show me stage. You did see Lucid Oasis posted this. This was, I think, a day or so ago. So a new agreement or extension of the previously announced agreement. And ultimately, it shows that from the Saudi Industry Forum 2025, there was 8 new agreements. So looks like a lot of MOUs. I don't believe that this actually does signal any names other than HRDF, but aside from that, MOUs, in my honest opinion, haven't really benefited Lucid. Like, there's been probably a good 20, possibly even extending it to 30 MOUs that have been signed over the last several years. And honestly, I can't really tell you if any of them have truly benefited Lucid. So I think it's just one of those things that it's good to have, say that you did something, but if it actually adds utility and benefit to Lucid, I think that's another question. So as of right now, I think the market is just waiting for, as well as Lucid investors are just waiting for the next big thing. While that does happen, you're going to have shorts do what they want and what they see best. So again, going back to what I mentioned, there was roughly 118 million shares being traded today. Shorts did increase 10.1 million. So shorts were fairly active today. 31.82% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 392.33 million shares. As I have mentioned, I did anticipate over the next week or weeks that we will be seeing a new all-time high short interest. So with it at 3182, it is fair to assume that is going to be hit most likely in a week. I think it's the all-time high is roughly like 33, I believe. So yeah, definitely things could get very interesting. And that did occur, on a side note, in October. So it does look as though it is roughly 32.8. So that's kind of the all-time high. So Who knows, if shorts continue this trend, we will be seeing that sooner rather than later. But for those of you that believe that Lucid is a squeeze play, then that might get you a little bit excited. But aside from that, looking at the options, 1.58 million in calls, 786,000 in puts. So this volume does not jive and coincide with the common stock. So options has been lagging, and as per usual, you have majority of the options just neutral, and that's just because it wasn't oriented towards a bid or the ask. So as I've kind of decoded, so roughly 937,000 between 850 and 855. If we kind of look at this and orient it based on a lot of the other options that have been happening across the board on a larger scope, most of them are bearish in nature. So you do see two neutral ones, 540 and then 375,000. One was a August 15th expiry, second one being July 18th, $2 calls. So again, with it being neutral, it's kind of hard to distinguish exactly what is happening, but nonetheless, someone's hedging or something like that. So let me know your viewpoint on that. When it comes down to the bulls, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around that $2 range, and then the bears are anticipating for it to be sub roughly $2. So optimism has definitely diminished quite a lot with Lucid over the next past little bit, but with it closing at 214, it is trading between this S1 and this S2. So 218 is going to be that key pivot. You really want to watch for it to get above that with hopefully good GDP numbers, and I believe Micron did have their earnings and it was relatively good. So hopefully both of those will stimulate the market above that 218 mark. And then $1.99 is going to be the next strong support. So definitely very wide gaps. And as I've pointed out, the Elliott Wave Technicals, as you can kind of see, is projecting for it to really pull lower. So next target is ultimately $1.69. Based on this, it does have a key pivot of 245. So just watch for that. Aside from that, no new analyst ratings. Even looking at what analysts have been doing for their upcoming earnings, sometimes they change it a little bit ahead of time, but there hasn't been any amendments to the earnings per share or the revenue. So I think just everyone is waiting for Lucid's upcoming Q2 earnings just to see how far along they are on track. No real news or articles coming out associated to Lucid. And honestly, there's not really much to say about their chart. It's very negative and below all the key pivotal moving averages. So it's been like that for the last two and a half weeks. Stochastic RSI, it is getting somewhat up there, so potentially overbought. So again, first sign of weakness, whether it be GDP or PCE, you could see a little bit of a pullback. So let me know your thoughts on Lucid. Do you think, what do you think the next big catalyst is? And so I did actually post this on my Twitter. Side note, I did get access after being banned for 7 days. I was not able to post, comment, do anything. Don't ask me why I was banned. It was the most dumbest thing ever, but I did post this yesterday. So it goes to show, it shows the prices as of June the 24th, 2021, 22, 23, 24, and then of course yesterday. What do you feel is going to be that catalyst that gets it back to these 2021 levels? Do you think it's ever going to get back there? I know there's going to be some smart asses that say reverse stock split. That's the only way for it to happen. But realistically, what do you think will be that good catalyst to bring it back there? Do you think bringing ESS, mid-size, possibly a larger merger? I'm not just talking about general partnership. I'm talking about Lucid finally admitting like, hey, us and Polestar, we got to merge in order to really succeed going forward. Honestly, I think it will eventually come down to that. If Lucid does not really and fails to continue to ramp up, then they will be forced to most likely make it the hard decision of merging. And one good entity, as I've kind of brought up in the past, I don't really like their vehicles all that much, is Polestar, because they have the infrastructure, global infrastructure. PIF, Lucid could benefit from that. So what do you think is going to be the next big thing? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon. I give buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been absolutely on point. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.